All right, welcome race fans once again for the second time here tonight. We are live here on MaxSpeedTV tonight with the RaceCore Online Racing League. New name change for another league. We won't mention that name right now. But again, a new name here, RaceCore Online Racing League, tonight on MaxSpeedTV. So we are going to have some great racing, but we got to go fast here because we have some stuff we have to take care of. We want to thank all the sponsors, of course, that come on board here for MaxSpeedTV. MenuRunners.com, delivery done right. If you are an avid gamer looking to get some food delivered, make sure you check them out, see if they're in your area. If they're not, well, hit them up, see if they can possibly get in your area. SimSpeedShop.com, definitely give them a shout out. They have some great button boxes, some e-brakes, some other cool stuff on their website. Make sure you check them out for all your sim racing needs. One of our newest partners here, HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. Make sure you check these guys out. They are a great group of people there. If you need any web hosting or PC repair, make sure you check them out first. Elite 7 Racing, the official team of MaxSpeedTV. They have been supporting us for quite some time as we support them as well. So make sure you go over to their Facebook page, give them a like, let them know you heard about it here on MaxSpeedTV. And of course, Ohio IndyCar League. They came on a little while ago, and they are here to stay for now. We also will be actually broadcasting their league here very shortly, I believe, at the start of April. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Josh Medlock here at MaxSpeedTV will be the official voice of that series. And of course, Global Building Contractors. They are the title sponsor for this series here. Again, RaceCore Online Racing League presented by Global Building Contractors. Make sure you definitely go give them a shout out on Facebook, their website, whatever you can do to get in contact with them. Let them know you appreciate what they do to help this league grow. Again, they're the ones footing the bill here for this broadcast. So again, if it wasn't for them, we would not be here covering this tonight. That being said here, we have just a very limited amount of time, but we do want to welcome our guest speaker here tonight, or guest commentator, Jeff Stabnell. So welcome to the booth once again, Jeff.
Hey Charles, thanks for having me back. Can't wait to see what these guys got going on again here.
It's going to be a fun race, 200 laps at Bristol. We were just talking to Justin Starr, league owner and driver in this one, running the MaxSpeedTV page up. We just got done covering the Pot of Gold 100. About half as many cars were in that race as this one, but it went green to checkered, caution-free for 100 laps. So, you know, with any luck at all, we could possibly see a duplicate here and do that again in this race. With this many cars, it may make it a little bit more difficult to do, but again, anything is possible.
Well, I suppose it's possible. That kind of sounds like a little bit of a unicorn to me, though. Bristol, they don't call it the last great Coliseum for nothing. I mean, these guys are gladiators out there. We've got a half-mile track. You've got 24 cars trying to fit on there. I think Darrell Waltrip once said, you put that many cars on a track and somebody's going to get bumped off.
Yeah, it really is. And speaking of the track here, we'll pull up our pre-race analyst here. It's overcast, so it's already pretty chilly out there anyway. A very cool temperature of 78 degrees. The track temp also sitting at 78 degrees. No humidity at 0. Fog's at 0, so it's a nice clear night for racing. The lights are shining bright here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, we already went 200 laps. But again, that's only 106.6 miles. A lot of people get confused. They think this is a true half mile. It is actually 0.533. So it's actually a little over a half mile, which adds that 6.6 miles to the end of this.
Yeah, this is it's still a half mile of mayhem. I agree, you know, 0.533, but yeah, this is just a great track here. There should be lots of grip given the weather that you've talked about there. It should be interesting to see what happens with all that grip, see how much rubber they lay down. One of the things about Bristol being the half mile track is this one's a little bit unique in the fact that with the banking on here, it really kind of forces you to run that top line. So hopefully we can get some rubber down and open up some additional lines of racing here tonight.
It definitely, we'll be looking forward here again. This is in Bristol, USA. But looking at the tire window, 40 to 50 laps is what we've established here for tires. Fuel, though, 70 to 80 laps. So I'm not sure. Pit road may not be 50 miles an hour. I think it's actually a little bit slower than that. That was a typo on our behalf. But regardless, I think it's actually around 30 to 45 miles an hour. But, you know, you're going to be running out of tires, good tires anyway, long before you run out of fuel here. So I think we're going to see some pit strategy going on.
Oh, I think this is going to be a big strategy race. This is one of those tracks where, again, we've got a single line that's really the only fast way around the track. It's going to be real hard to make pass on that bottom line. So track position is going to mean everything. If you're up front in the first half of that and you've got a caution that comes out early, I doubt that you're going to go in and pit. You're going to try to keep that track position. Whereas, hey, if you're the guy in the back, you're going to go in and get new tires just so maybe you can sit one out a little bit later when everybody else is pitting. Strategy for pit stops is probably going to be the biggest way to move up and back through the field tonight. So should be a lot of strategy going on there.
There will indeed be strategy. And speaking of strategy, we're going to pull up Brian Irby up here real fast if we can with him. Brian Irby, you got a copy? Hopefully we can get a word in with him. He was last week's winner, having some internet issues. We're unable to communicate with him. Or get his interview in, but hopefully he is here again. Brian Irby, you got a copy? And it looks like we are not going to be able to get a word in with him, but we'll try throughout the rest of the night here to see maybe if we get a caution or something, if we can possibly pull him in here. But we have, it looks like about 13 minutes here. They're actually in a driver's meeting here, and then about 3 minutes they'll be in one anyway. So we have some free time here. Again, here in a minute, we'll see if we can't get him back in here. He definitely has to be here for that driver's meeting. And looking at the driver's roster here, he's the fastest one right now with a 15.004. So he may stand a good shot of going back-to-back tonight.
Yeah, I think at Bristol here, I think the name of the game is getting out front and just holding on to that track position. So, you know, definitely I think anybody that's laying down some of the faster times right now, if they can duplicate that in qualifying, they definitely have to be favorites for this race. Getting out front is going to be huge.
They are indeed. And there we go. We just got a word from Brian that he was good to go. So, Brian, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Charles?
Oh, good. Well, we didn't get you actually in the booth last week because we had some internet issues going on, but you won last week. You're sitting at the top of the charts right now. So what do you think your odds are in your thoughts here coming into the Bristol Motor Speedway of pulling a back-to-back win here?
I could be completely honest, man. That top speed right there really doesn't mean a whole lot. Bristol's going to be faced with a lot of challenges, and to pull it off back-to-back, going to be slim to none, but it's possible, but I'm not seeing it happen. There's a couple good drivers out here that could beat me.
Well, you definitely shown that you can get up there. Again, this track is very tricky here. We just saw a race earlier today. We're talking about it. Went caution-free. Had about half as many cars, so I don't think we're going to go caution-free. So what is going to be your strategy here? You know, we don't want to give away all your secrets, of course, to the competition, but which do you think is more important? Not necessarily what you're actually going to do, but is it going to be a tire game or is it going to be a fuel strategy here tonight?
Well, I like to run the bottom a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna run the bottom, be consistent on the bottom, try to save my tires as much as possible, hopefully let them boys wear theirs out, and I'd love to see it go caution-free just so I can use a tire strategy.
Well, with any luck, it very well could go caution-free. If you have one or two cautions, I mean, you could essentially call that not caution-free, but at least very close to caution-free, as one caution definitely won't play too big of a factor into the race. And depending on when it comes out, you know, if we have two cautions early in the race, that definitely won't affect the later half. And that, you know, it's just not going to play too big of a factor, I don't think, if we have that few. But we saw in practice there were a couple of people getting a little squirmy. Looking just in your opinion here, we're kind of curious. Which do you think is going to be more of a factor? We saw some people just getting loose and spinning out, but we also saw a lot of people getting into that outside wall. So which one of those do you think is probably going to be the biggest culprit here? Just getting loose on old tires, or sliding up on those tires and getting into the outside wall?
I think it's going to be more people sliding up, hitting that outside wall and exit, which is going to push them into the inside wall, and I think that'll cause at least 1 or 2 cautions. But hopefully everybody learns something in practice, and we'll be able to race a little smart, you know?
Yeah. Well, we don't want to keep you too long. We know y'all are in driver's meeting right now or fixing to start. So any quick sponsors or shout-outs you want to give before we get you back down to the driver's meeting?
I'd like to thank all my boys over at Sim Chassis Racing for supporting me and helping me out throughout the season. And my boy Rigney down here that brought me into the league. And other than that, wish everybody good luck and let's have fun.
All right. Well, again, congrats on last week's win. We'll see if you can get a good, solid top 3 finish here again, and we'll get you down to the driver's meeting.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Well, there you go, Jeff. Quick little word with last week's winner. We unfortunately were unable to get him in there due to internet issues. And by the record, for anyone that is wanting to stream, don't hook up a Roku. That, for some odd reason, even though it's mostly download, it will destroy your internet upload. That was the issue that we had, is it kind of saturated the internet and made it to where we couldn't broadcast.
Yeah, I've actually done that with an Amazon Fire. So, I'm sorry, there's one of those devices I've done it to. You get those high definition ultra 4K or whatever, and it just they'll download them as fast as they can and just kill you.
Yeah, it definitely did that. So that was on us. We did record it and put it up later. It didn't have commentary, of course, but we did apologize for that. That was strictly on our end. But tonight, that was going to be a nice race. It was a nice race. But tonight's Bristol. Everybody loves Bristol. We were watching a video from NASCAR the other day, and even the drivers, these real life drivers, talk about how tempers will flare here at this track. You will have people getting upset with each other, but they all still love it. This is a very weird love-hate relationship with this track.
I'll tell you what, there was that interview that we just had with Brian. He dropped a lot of good nuggets in that interview. The first one was he talked about guys pushing into the wall. And a lot of times what you get here is you kind of get that conga line going around the outside, and that's because the track's progressively banked. There's more banking at the top of the track than down below, so you can run faster. And a lot of times if you're in a single file line, you kind of cut that corner a little bit to get a nice straight run at the straightaway. But if you've got somebody to the inside, you've got to stay up there against the wall, and this being such a rhythm track, because you're running right up against the wall, you'll push into that. And then you take, short track, you've got a lot of guys on here. You're not carrying a lot of speed, so we don't have half-second gaps. We've got 1/10 of a second gaps at most. So for somebody to react to that speed change when you hit the wall and not get into you, is usually pretty difficult. One guy getting the wall usually ends up affecting 3 or 4 other guys who get damage. So there's one way we get tempers flaring. And then, of course, the other way is it's so hard to pass on the bottom of this track. You get the different pit strategies going on. You get behind somebody that's slow. You can't pass them on the bottom a lot of times if you don't, if you've got more than a few laps on your tires. And, so guys will put the old chrome bumper to somebody to just let them know that they're holding them up. And that doesn't always end well. And again, there's tempers are flaring over that too. So absolutely, we'll probably see some tempers flaring here tonight. We'll probably see the old chrome horn before it's over. And we'll definitely see some guys in the wall.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of the chrome horn used, I think. I mean, you don't really want to see it, but, as long as you know how to use that bumper well, you can nudge somebody ever so slightly. Give them just a little bit of a nudge or a bump and not spin them out. The goal isn't to spin them out because you run the risk of wrecking yourself. The goal of the chrome horns or the bumper is to just push them out of their comfort, out of that comfort lane they're in. You know, they're in a groove right there. You bunch them just enough, nudge them out of that line, make them scoot up the track. It's not to wreck them, it's to kill their momentum. And if you can do it right, you can get them out of their momentum and then get by them. That is what it's intended for. And some of these drivers are really good at it, and we're going to see it be used here tonight, I'm sure, several times. And we'll see who's good at it and who may not be so good at it.
Yeah, this is such a rhythm track. It really is a sight and sound track. You're running so close to that wall. There's not really any good markers here, and the laps are taking 15-second laps. I mean, it's an entire lap around this track, 15 seconds. So you're listening to the drone and the engine. You're just some visual cues that you don't even have time to process. It's almost hypnotic sometimes. And if you get somebody that bumps you in that rear and just they break that rhythm that you had, it'll mess you up. I mean, it takes you a while to get it back, and it can. So just even the tiniest of bumps, something that makes you turn the wheel a little bit to catch it, or just put you out of your line a little bit, it can take a couple laps to recover from that.
It really can. And this is also one of those tracks that we were talking about, the conga line. Once you get out of your line, if there's a one person bumps you and scoots you up, and it takes you a little bit to get back, if they're in that line, you want to be down there in the bottom, and it's going to take till the end of that line possibly for you to get back into it, into the groove, and you could possibly lose one all the way up to 10-15 spots before you're able to get back in that groove. And like Brian was saying, and you were talking about earlier, this is a position track. You want that track position, and to not have it to be stuck in the back, obviously you're not going to win from back there. And we've seen it over and over again, whether it's real racing on here in the virtual world. Cautions start at the back of these fields usually, so that's not where you want to be.
But you get the accordion effect. We talk about a guy hitting a wall. Let's say you get a guy in 5th or 6th place that scrapes a wall. It knocks some speed off, so the guy behind him has to stab the brakes, and the guy behind him wasn't expecting it, so now he's got to stab him harder, and then the guy further back, he's locking him up. And, you're taking out guys. So something that starts in the front as a little just blip, it's almost like the old wave going around the stadiums, man. It's just huge by the time it gets to the back. You don't want to be back there.
Yeah, you definitely don't. And we got about 3.5 minutes here until we will find out who's going to be back there based on qualifying. 24 drivers here, so just over double what we saw in the other race here for that Pot of Gold 100 earlier this afternoon. Again, that was a nighttime race as well, so both very cool tracks, but more cars will spell cautions. Again, I'm just curious. I think we'll probably have more than one, but we had 13 zero cautions. 24, maybe we'll have one caution. You just don't know. And like Brian was saying, we've talked to some of these drivers earlier this week too, and earlier today. Cautions will breed cautions, and I'm feeling we're going to see at least one at a restart. You get this many cars and you cram pack them into this little tiny track. It really is the only equation you can or equivalent to it that you can think of is trying to put 24 sardines in the one little can that usually comes with about 6, and that's what this track is like.
I think I heard once they talked about they gave a couple descriptions here. One of them was flying a fighter jet around a gymnasium. These cars have so much power, they're so fast, and you're going to pack 24 of them around here, and they're just flying around these tracks. I mean, it gets crazy. I think the other one that I saw was racing inside of a salad bowl. So both of those aptly describe what we're talking about here and what we're facing. And as far as the cautions breed cautions, you're absolutely right, especially if we start getting guys on different pit strategies. You got fresh tires, you got old tires. Old tires are a half second to a second slower than the fresh tires. Guys can't get around. That inside line usually will work for 10 or 15 laps. You can make some passes down there, but what happens when you start running that inside line is the tires start wearing a little faster. You have to turn it just a little bit more, the steering wheel a little more getting in. You got to turn it just a little bit more getting out, which requires a little bit different throttle. We talked about the rhythm, and that's where guys get loose. You'll see guys that try to run the inside a lot of times these are the guys that the rear end comes drawn on them and they're spinning loose. Guys on the outside tend to push into the wall. So whenever we bunch people up, it's the likelihood just amps up that we're going to have a big wreck.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just not sure here. It looks like Bryson Barker actually just ran a faster time, 14:9:41. So once these guys come out, this is we did find out a fixed setup, 60% fuel, no fast repairs. And you were just talking about getting out of your groove. If you get involved in a wreck, if it's bad enough, it's probably going to end your day here too. So these guys may be a little more cautious here with no fast repair, because nobody wants to be out of the race early. That fast repair in the back of your mind is kind of like a safety net, but you don't have that safety net here. You wreck, you're done.
No, this is just like the real thing here. You've got to protect that car. If you get damaged, you've got to fix it in the pits on the clock. I think for our race, aerodynamics, a little bit of a fender scraping the wall or something, that's not going to be that big. But it's so easy to knock the toe out of a car or something and just completely wreck your car when you run that wall and scrape that wall. Of course, if you blow an engine or something like that because you got into somebody, you're definitely done. So they're going to have to drive real careful.
They really are. Here's just like that, checkered flags waving. So next up is qualifying. They have 5 minutes as it. But, I mean, really, you don't need that. These guys are running such fast times anyway here. And so we are going to switch back to our main camera here. And it looks like Brian Irby is going to be the first one out on to the track in the number 33 Skull machine. And he's going to put in a fast time. We already know he's fast. But we'll have to kind of get through these guys as best we can here. Once they start rolling in times, it's going to be rolling them in very quickly.
Yeah, like we said, 15-second laps. Usually you go out there and you kind of get up to speed. Then you'll kind of maybe run a high one. And a lot of times that money lap, they'll just try to come right down there around the bottom of the track and just cut it as close as they can.
They will indeed.
15 seconds goes by real fast.
15.106 for Brian Irby on his first lap. So he will take it to the top. Alex Huffman, though, 15.183 was his fastest lap. He's currently sitting in second place right now. That's a good run for him. And we talked about it right now. Dan Butler just being dropped to fourth place, 15.137. Now back to second. He is the lone Toyota here tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of not something you see every day. Usually there's a pretty good mix of cars, but a single Toyota in the field, surprising.
Yeah, it really is. Austin Edstrom taking it to the top now, as he's going to shut it down. Bryson Barker going to take second place. These guys are really starting to mix it up here. I'm losing my voice there just a little bit. That's not good. Cody Levitt currently is sitting in 15th place. He's got a little bit of work cut out for him, too. 15th place is going to be towards the back of this field for the most part. But he's definitely got to pick it up just a little bit if he wants to get into the top 10 right now, as it looks like the rest of these guys are not going to qualify. Mike Rigney, though, did take a 5th place time with 15.165.
Well, I guess, if you don't feel like you can get up front, then maybe you want to start in the back, or maybe these guys are serving penalties. A little surprising to see guys not qualify. However, I'd rather fall back in the back than get stuck in the middle where things are completely out of my control. The interesting thing is, though, these guys in the back will start almost a third of a lap to a half a lap down when they take the checkered flag. It's such a short track.
They will indeed, and it looks like Cody Levitt, his times are done already. He's just out there getting some extra practice laps in. But again, yes, Mikey Neal, Justin Starr, David Gainsforth, Leonard Ellis, and Jonathan Ellis not taking times. I didn't read the notes here tonight. That is on me. But again, some of these drivers may not be qualifying. Some of them may be indeed serving penalties. As we know, that is a penalty. If you get an EOL assessed after the race is over that you didn't claim a caution, or anything like that. That is tacked on to the next race, which would put you at the back of the field. You're not allowed to qualify, but it does look like Mikey Neal's going to come out, so it doesn't look like he is going to be serving one of those penalties.
Yeah, I see him sitting right there at the edge of pit road. Pretty fast lap times down here too. Oh, go ahead.
Look, I said he ran a 12.83. Obviously, that was not a complete lap, so he's going to try it one more time. I have to say, though, I'm kind of digging his new paint job here. Got a new red, white, and no blue, but he's got a red and white Budweiser paint job on there. That is a very sharp-looking paint job, as he's going to jump to 5th place.
I'm going to have to refresh some trade paints here because I'm not seeing that.
It looks like a brand new paint job from last week, but with 32 seconds left to go, that looks like that is going to be it for qualifying. So no more drivers will go out. Even if they did, they would barely be able to squeak a lap in here with 20 seconds to go. So essentially that will do it for qualifying. Next up is going to be your Walls Beardco starting grid coming up in about 10 seconds. Alright, there it is. Checkered flag is waving. So again, next up, the Walls Beardco starting grid. We'll run through it real fast for you here. Again, starting on row 1 here. Again, the starting grid presented by Walls Beardco. It is going to be Austin Edstrom and Bryson Barker. So row 1, a very fast row, to say the least. Row 2 is going to be Brian Irby and Dan Butler. Again, the lone Toyota here, Dan Butler, putting in a 4th fastest time, so good job for him. Row 3 is going to be Mikey Neal and Mike Rigney, so 2 Mikes in row 3. Row 4 is going to be Dennis Ellis and Alex Huffman. Very good job for them as well. Row 5 is going to be Tommy Gossett and Lynn McNeese. Row 6 is going to be Jim Logging and Charles Hoffman. Sorry about that. Charles Hoffman. Row 7 is going to be Ruben Altice and James Morgan. Row 8 is going to be Brian Dorsey and Cody Brett Levitt. Row 9 is going to be Roger Muth and Trevor Graffam. Row 10 is going to be Jared Haggerton and Dean Viney. Row 11 is going to be David Gainforth and Jonathan Ellis. Row 12 is going to be Leonard Ellis and Justin Starr. Row 13, nobody on it, so that will do it for your Walls Beardco starting lineup. And it is going to be a very good race here, I think. We'll see how many cautions there are, but we're getting ready here to strap them in and take that green flag here in about 1 lap.
Yeah, Bristol's, it's always going to make for some good racing. The restart should be interesting. We're going to see a lot of guys trying to find room in that top line. It will be interesting. We've got Brian Irby down there on the bottom lane, and should be the 2nd row, I think. And he did tell us that he likes running that bottom, so I'm anxious to see how he does down there because not a lot of guys can run that for very long.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but again, he is a very, very fast driver. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how it does go. We know he won last week, so we'll see if he can hang on to it this time as they're on the backstretch now. That means next time by, we'll start this race. Again, 200 laps, 106 miles. This is going to be a long race, but not a long race all at the same time. You know, it seems like it'll be a lot longer than it will, but, you know, within a matter of minutes, we'll be 20 laps into this race. As the green flag does count for the first time here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Austin Edstrom with a great start there. Definitely, he jumped out there. He's got a couple tenths lead already.
Yeah, he does. As we look back right behind him here, Bryson Barker has 2nd place, pretty much wrapped up at the moment here. Brian Irby right behind him in third. These guys are really starting to single file out. You got to go way back here, back to about 12th place, to the 12 of James Morgan, who's got a good battle going on with the 59 of Ruben Altus right now. That's really the first place where they get side by side.
Yeah, we had Tommy Gossett there and Mike Rigney were kind of battling it out, but they finally got slotted in. Their single file right there.
Yeah, it's kind of what we figured here would happen. These guys are trying to get single file. You talked about it, the Congo line, little train going on here. That's what they're going to do. They're going to kind of get in a position, and they're going to hang there. They want to try to make up positions, but they can't do it too quick. They're going to want to do it slow and methodically.
We've got the 12 of Len McNeese. He's tried looking inside on the the 12 of James Morgan. He's tried inside of Len McNeese a couple times, but the top line prevailed already on that one. So I think that's the only other battle I saw going too wide there right now.
Yeah, it definitely is that high, and it's really the banking of this track. We talked about it earlier. It's almost like a little bit of a roller coaster. It goes like kind of at a certain degree, and all of a sudden like just corkscrews and goes way banked in the corners. And the way it's designed, the top lane is a lot faster because of that. So that's where a lot of people are going to run. But running up there trying to keep that car glued to the high side is going to cause you to wear those tires a little bit faster. That's why Brian was talking about running the bottom if he could. But he's currently not doing it. He's running about as close to the top of the track as he can, nearly scraping the outside wall. But he's having to do that to keep up with the 2 cars in front of him.
Yeah, with that extra speed that you can carry running that wall, and then if you can dive it down off the corner and go down the straightaway, at least until we get a lot of heat and rubber into this track, the dynamic tracks that we have now may move that line. You'll see some guys start trying to bottom once in a while, just searching. The first guy that finds at the bottom is working a little bit or finds that grip patch down there, probably makes up a little bit of ground. But here in the early stages, there's probably going to be one fast way around this track.
Yeah, it really is. And looking here, I'm wondering what happened to Mikey Neal. He started on pit road. Correct me, he don't believe he started on pit road. He's already made 2 pit stops. So he's 5 laps down here. Already here in 13 laps, so he went down several laps very quickly. He's made 2 pit stops, so not sure what those were for. He is currently running 24th, and the leaders are going to be coming up on him if they haven't already. There they are. The leaders are coming up on him very quickly as they're fixing to put the 4 of Leonard Ellis, his second lap down now.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back right now and see if I can see what happened there, but I'm definitely not seeing it. Whatever happened was early. We saw him in the pits, and it looks like he's found maybe a little bit of speed.
Yeah, he has definitely. Unfortunate to be that many laps down. In correction, Leonard Ellis is 1 lap down. Right as I said, he was going to go a second lap down. He had actually just got past for the first lap, so he passed him that quick that by the time I could get it out, he was already down, and a caution's going to come out, and it looks like it's going to involve, we can find him.
30? The 30 car?
Mike Rigney, the 30, yes, going around here. We'll see if he had any company.
Looked like maybe he just caught a little bit of apron down there. No?
We'll definitely take a look here as we're watching him. Again, this is the 30 of Mike Rigney. Let's see what happened. Again, we talked about it. Was it going to be the apron or was it going to be the wall? Those are 2, I think, that are going to be the problem shouts here. Oh! Not sure if he had any help there from, I believe it was a 26 possibly, or 27.
It looks like he just kind of came up maybe when he wasn't quite clear or something and just got clipped in the right rear corner there. Sent him spinning up into that wall.
That is definitely unfortunate for him, though, as that car is dead on the track here. Looks like he may still be under power as we're watching him. He is indeed. He does have power, so that is a plus. He's going to be able to roll that car back to pit road. He's got heavy damage. And never good to see anything. Got the U.S. Army Ranger on that car, so it's never good to see any car with our military supporting on it with that much damage. But he's going to go to pit road with the rest of the guys. He's only one lap down, so he could possibly get that lap back.
I'm surprised that there's not more guys out there just trying to stay with some track position out here. We don't have that many laps. To see the whole field come in is a little bit surprising here.
It really is. Only 18 laps completed, so very early here. We figured for sure they would want to get at least 30 or more laps on these tires before we saw someone come in. But we could be wrong. We saw it in the race earlier today. Those guys were coming in anywhere from 12 to 15 laps. They were coming in for tires every time. Unfortunately, they were fortunate, and unfortunate for them, they didn't have any cautions, so they had to run upwards of 60 laps on their tires. But we talked to them, and they were wanting to get tires every like 15 laps or so. So that may be a trend here. We may see these guys come in if there's anywhere from 15 to 25 laps on those tires.
Oh, yeah, clearly we've seen it already. So at 20 laps on this first run, that's a great time to try to get some track position. But obviously nobody felt like with the tires that they could run out there another 15, 20, 30 laps, or at least didn't want to chance it. So I think we've answered that question. We've got 15, 20 laps, and these guys are screaming for new tires.
Yeah, so the 15, 20 laps, that is well under the 70 to 80 laps worth of fuel that they possibly have in here. It is 60%. Our calculations were, 70 to 80 laps. So, that is well under the fuel window. So this is going to be a tire game. Who can conserve their tires the most? Assuming that we stay green for an extended period of time. 20 laps is not bad for your little first run here, as everybody still is sort of on the track here. Mike Rigney is not, but we're back to green. We'll see. He's going to go another lap down. It's Austin Edstrom with another huge lead, so he keeps pulling these good starts off. He could wear those tires out fairly quickly here early in the race.
Well, it's important too. I don't know if these guys have the ability to pick the line. It would appear not. He's starting on the bottom, so important for him to get that good start, clear that first car on the top line, and get up to the top. Otherwise, he could just get trucked and end up losing 5, 6, 7 spots.
He very well could. And the first 5 have pretty much taken a huge lead. But look at someone who didn't take a qualifying run. That is Justin Starr in the 99. He is up right now to 6th position. He started 24th. So a huge run for Justin Starr. Again, no bias just because he may be running the MaxSpeedTV paint job here. But, that is a big gain right there of almost about 18 spots, almost 20 spots.
Yeah, we've got Justin Starr at 18 spots, and I think we've got Roger Muth in the 39 cars also up double-digit spots there at 10. So there are big movers and people we should probably be keeping an eye on here. Yeah,
and I don't recall if he took a lap or not. Obviously he did starting about 17th. He qualified towards the back. But yeah, he is moving forward right now. So he's actually trying to give Justin Starr a run for his money here as they're leading the pack here. You might say, or the second pack. Those first 6 or 5 have kind of checked out from the field, but Justin Starr now leading the second group of drivers.
We've got some nice battles in that second group going on too right now with Roger Muth and James Morgan, and then right behind them we've got another 2-wide battle with Dan Butler and I'm not sure. Looks like the 44 car of Len McNeese.
Yeah, they really do. The front guys checked out, but we know where they're at. They're somewhere off at the front of the field, but right now, like you said, this is a good battle. You got Justin Starr, who's kind of single file out, but right behind them, you got 2 wide, about 2 or 3 deep, as they're putting on a good battle. And I'm going to be interesting here, as now it looks like the 63 of Charles Hoffman is going to try to make a run on Justin Starr, but was unable to complete it. But what kind of tire wear are they getting here, racing side by side for consecutive laps, just back to back here. You know, somebody is wearing their tires more than the other person. The question is it the person on the bottom right now or the person on the top that is wearing those tires off a little more?
Well, based on the little experience I have here, and it tends to be the guys on the inside line that run it more. They got to turn the wheel more. They've got a tighter radius. They don't have as much banking to hold them down, and that car also gets a little bit loose coming off that bottom end, sometimes getting in. So, you know, unless you're a lot better than me, I could usually run that bottom for about 10 to 12 laps, and then that's about it if I just stuck it down there. I think the bottom wears quite a bit faster, and we're seeing the top line prevail now. I think the guys that were down there in the bottom are just falling back real fast.
Yeah, Justin Starr being one of those. He is really wanting to get back to the top side right now, but it looks like the 21 of Dan Butler is going to try to get by him as well. Here in just a minute anyway, the 47's battling him right now, Trevor Graffam, but I think he's going to get by him. He is indeed, but again, Dan Butler, the lone Toyota out here tonight, we were talking about it. He is giving Justin Starr a run for the money on the outside, but there it is. Justin Starr is going to jump back to the outside. Now you have Dan Butler on the inside, and it looks like Dan Butler may be able to make that inside work, so maybe he picked the right car here, bringing a Toyota to the race.
Well, for anybody not familiar with iRacing, there really is no difference between the brands here as far as they perform on the track, unlike probably their real-life counterparts.
Yeah, everybody knows in here they're the same. However, in the real world, though, those little indentions they put on that car did seem to give them a lot of advantage in the real world. That does not work here so much. But I don't know what it is. He's making the inside work. He actually got by Justin Starr, and now he's working over the 47 of Trevor Graffam on the inside. So he has definitely found something here grip-wise, or just able to get that car down there. And he's actually gained 3 positions on the bottom.
Yeah, and if you can get that car to stick in the entry through the middle and get it pointed down the straightaway, you can get to that throttle a little bit quicker. But typically that tighter radius, you can get guys that get loose, and just like we had there. Yeah,
not to cut you off, but Dan Butler going just barrel rolling it. Let's go back and take a look and see what caused it. That was a pretty vicious flip there for Dan Butler. The question is, did he have any help here? I don't think he did. We'll see.
It looked like he just pushed up a little bit, maybe, and hard to say, but definitely there was contact between him and the other car there.
Yeah, I can't tell from that angle, but it looked like, again, I believe that was a 63 that may have made a little contact. Charles Hoffman, I don't see too much damage on there. That may have been a bit of net code there. They got right together, but, regardless whether there was contact made or not, he definitely got the worst end of the deal, is that now everybody is coming down to pit road.
Yeah, so here we are again, another little 20 laps or so on the green flag run, and looks like everybody's getting tires again.
Yeah, this time your theory came into play. We did have some people not coming down here, as we'll take a look. It looks like...
Ruben Altis.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben Altis is not going to come in. We did have Dean Viney who stayed out, but he's coming down now, so he's going to get some fresh tires. He may have just stayed out to try to lead a lap, as well as Ruben. We'll see if he goes in here in a minute. But he could just be staying out to lead that lap, and as well as Dean Viney. But Dean, obviously being second, realized, hey, I'm not going to lead a lap. I might as well go in and get some fresh tires. If that was his strategy there, which I'd probably imagine it was. So we'll just have to kind of see here is... Ruben has officially led a lap now, and there he comes down to pit road. So a good strategy. Get that bonus point, lead the lap. That's what he was doing. He's going to go in, get some fresh Goodyear tires, and he'll come back out here and see if he can make his way back to the front.
Yeah. I mean, I like the strategy. I keep waiting for somebody to stay out there and try to get that track position. It's so important here, but we are still early in this race. I think maybe we'll see that a little bit later here as the race progresses.
Yeah, it's looking here just about at a quarter of the way. Like I said, we still have 155 laps to go here. So still a huge chunk of racing to go. Your leader right now is Austin Edstrom, who has led 43 of the 45 laps here completed when they crossed the line.
Yeah, Austin, he just, he's getting that great start. He's jumping out front, and he really hasn't been challenged in this race so far.
He has not been challenged at all. Just like the sponsor on that car, Tide, he's running a very clean race. So he is doing a fantastic job at leading this race, as looks like we should get the green flag this next time by.
Bryson Barker, too, if you I'm looking at the times here on the board, it looks like there's 3 drivers that have actually turned race laps in the 15-2s, and it's Bryson Barker, Austin Edstrom, and Mikey Neal.
Yeah, so, and Mikey Neal is 3 laps down now, so he has got some of his laps back as the green flag comes out once again. And this time, look at Bryson Barker. He is right there on the back bumper of Austin Edstrom. He didn't get as big of a jump as he has in the past, as Bryson's trying to run him down now.
He did not get as big of a jump, and I was looking at Austin's car a little bit earlier, and it looked like he might have had some damage on that left front fender. I think he got into the wall somewhere on that last run.
We'll take a look here. I don't see anything too major on the left front, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Little damage. It could be on the front there that we just can't see, but he's definitely just not able to pull away. He's pulling away a little bit here, 0.266 seconds. We'll see if that increases. It's actually going to decrease to 0.25, so he has not been able to pull away at all, at least not like he was. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on him throughout the race here. But we'll go back here a little bit. You got to go all the way back to about 12th place to see any double wide here. That is David Gainforth and Ruben Altus again, who led a lap, but now he's sitting back in 13th position, and even they've kind of sorted it out now.
Yeah, my bad too, by the way, on Austin. It was the right front fender, and you can see his door. He did get into the wall there a little bit. I think I said left front fender.
Let's take a look-see here at him.
So we've got the 27 car a little further back in the field too, Jonathan Ellis. He's trying to make a couple moves on the low side right now, along with Charles Hoffman. But for the most part, they've gone single file, and we're spread out here a little bit.
Yeah, we just took a look there, and yeah, you can definitely see it on the right front. Quite a bit of damage to that one, and that is definitely slowing him down, I'm sure. Again, aerodynamics, not a major thing here, but you do need the speed coming out of the corner, and that could be affecting him. As you know, coming out of the corner would be where you get the restart coming out of 4, and he was not able to get up to speed as big as he, or as much as he was before. But you still have the 27 right now of Jonathan Ellis trying to take it to the inside to see if he can't get by Charles Hoffman there. But so far, not having any luck at it, as here comes the 101 of David Gainforth.
Yeah, that's we've got quite a few battles here in this pack. They seem to be taking turns trying the inside here a little bit. I don't see a lot of positions changing hands here, but we've seen Charles Hoffman, Jonathan Ellis, and David Gainforth all take the inside line here and try to pass each other in the last few laps.
They have indeed, as we are now on lap 58 of 200 here. Austin Edstrom has led 56 of them. Again, Ruben Altis has led 1 lap, so he got his bonus point, and that's what he wanted as he went in, got some fresh tires. We'll look a little bit here. It looks like we have a battle going on for a 10th position between Trevor Graffam and Jonathan Ellis, but I'm pretty sure the 47 of Trevor Graffam is going to hang on to that position, as Jonathan Ellis just couldn't quite get it, as he is going to keep trying but I'm not sure. He is on the outside trying to get that position from him, and now he's going to settle back behind him.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got a slower lap car that's going to end up kind of getting in the middle of that there a little bit.
Yeah, that's
the 55 of Brian Dorsey.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You definitely don't want a lap car in the middle there when you're trying to battle, but you know, that's part of racing here. It does happen. Unfortunately, he's got a lot of damage to that car as well, so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But it looks like they're all going to get by him on the high side. I don't think he's going to give him too much of a factor. The 101 trying to get by him now. But the front of that car, the back of that car, it is totaled right now. So again, they don't have any fast repairs, so it's a wonder that car is still running.
Yeah, that's the, you know, we talked about the aero maybe not being affecting the speed so much. It's not as much of a downforce track, although it does come into play here with the speeds they carry. But so easy to just knock that toe in or out just a little bit on that right front tire, and carrying speed through these corners is so important that that can really mess you up.
It really can. As go back up to the front, you look at your leader now. Again, it is still Austin Edstrom. He now has 0.533 second lead, so that little bit of damage he had, I think early in a run when the tires are fresh, it affects him. He can't get the run he wants right out of the gate, but once the tires wear off and everyone starts feeling that, as we're on 24 laps on these tires now, I think that damage doesn't affect him as much because nobody's at their fast speeds that they were. So I don't think it's going to play too big of a factor. As long as he can keep a little bit of a gap at the restart, it just progressively gets more the longer these tires wear out.
So I was watching here in the last lap. There's a couple guys that did not pit last time. They took a waiver on Cody Brent Levitt and Brian Dorsey, and they were running just a couple laps ago. They were running 16.3s to the leader 16.1s. So with 50 laps on those tires compared to the 25 of the leaders, they really were only about 0.2 of a lap slower.
Yeah, so it just shows you that you know, fresh tires are nice, but you know, they may not be key to everything. You know, track position got to be out front. That is, I think, going to be the main key here tonight. We may see, if we get a caution in the later half here, you know, closing with 20, 25, even 30 laps to go, we very well may see somebody try to stay out here and gamble with it. As we saw earlier, like we were talking about in that Pot of Gold 100 race we were doing, there were people in there that were running 63 laps on those tires. So we know it can be done. The winner had a ton of laps on his tires. So, you know, if somebody knows how to handle this car and can drive it and finesse it, they could possibly stay out and bring it into victory lane still.
Well, and the other thing I think we're seeing by looking at these lap times is maybe we've got about 3/4 of a second fall off there in those first 25 laps, but it looks like it kind of levels out. Next 25 laps, you're only talking a couple tenths off. So, big fall off on those first 25 laps, which is where guys are saying, I need new tires because they're feeling the fall off, but afterwards it seems like it levels out a bit.
Yeah, and the thing is, with just like with anything, you know, it's not just racing, it's a life thing. Once you know, your tires fall off, you're screaming, I need new tires, you don't get a caution, you kind of just become accustomed to, okay, this car handles like crap, I'm just going to get used to it at this point, and your tires are junk, and that's just how you get used to doing it that way, because you've been doing it for, 20 plus laps now. It's just the normal now. It's not abnormal. Your tires aren't worn out, they're just your tires now. And that will be the key, is who can run smooth with those old tires. And I think that's going to be the key here tonight.
Oh, the 27 Justin Ellis just got into the back of a lap car at 71. He was making a big move. I mean, he was up 15 spots. He was working through lap traffic, and he went down to the low line, and it looks like he just tagged the rear end there a little bit, trying to get his nose under him.
And just like that, our caution does come back out. So we'll take a look back here and check with the 71, and just got tagged, you said, so we'll keep an eye on that and see how it all plays stuff out. What happened here? He was doing a good job. You said the 21 got into him?
The 27, Jonathan Ellis, who's our big mover in the race. He's been coming through traffic and got into some lap cars and tried to make a move around one and maybe just got a little aggressive there.
And surprisingly enough, he's still being shown in 10th place. He's actually dropping through now as he's going to go on pit road. So didn't lose too much time here as we're watching the 101 of David Gainford. Looks like he may have overshot his pit stall here on pit road. So he is going to lose a little bit of time there.
Yeah, and we've got Charles Hoffman also with a long stop. I didn't watch that. I don't know if that was a pit error. These pit boxes are you got to be so precise with the new animated pit crews we've got. You know, or if he was just fixing some damage there.
I'm not sure. He's coming back down pit road though. Along him and Trevor Graffam going to come down pit road again. So they're going to come in and get some fresh tires there.
Pretty good indication then that they're probably fixing some damage if they're coming down again.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get that damage repaired again. They don't have fast repair, so they have to do what they can while they're under caution. That's the best time to do it. You definitely don't want to pull down pit road every other lap or every lap under green flag. You might as well just call it a day at that because you're going to go several laps down. But right now is the time to do it. You won't go a lap down as long as you can get out before you go a lap down. But again, after all that shaking up and moving, your leader still is Austin Edstrom. So he has led now 79 laps. The only other lap to be led was by Ruben Altice, who led one lap, as we're on lap 81 of 200 now. So we're actually closing in on the halfway point now.
Yeah, and we've seen the same three drivers up there pretty much. Brian Irby is still in third place. We've had Bryson Barker pretty much in second most of this race, and Austin Edstrom, I think they're probably just able to jump out there. And, you know, we talked about this being a rhythm track, and leading laps right now isn't necessarily going to get you the win. Find your pocket, get in your rhythm, and just turn some laps until it's time to race.
Yeah, definitely. Third caution, only 12 laps. Still 120 to go. So we have completed 81 laps. Only 13 of those under caution so far. So that is not a lot of laps, considering we've completed so many to be under caution here. As it looks like they're getting ready to get the green flag one more time.
Yeah, and also halfway through this race, we've been running the top line. We've got some heat there. We've got some rubber. This is where we might start seeing the bottom line come into play. It'll be interesting to see if I think we saw towards the end of that run, we saw a couple guys making some moves on the bottom. So, you know, maybe some guys will start finding something on the bottom here.
They will indeed, I'm sure, as the green flag comes out once again. And there they are, top three back up on the thing. And look who it is, Tommy Gossett making his way into the top three for the first time, as now Brian Irby's going to take it right back. But that's a battle for third position. You know, looking back to the start of this race and throughout the point till now, that is the highest battle we've seen for position, as usually those top three, even top six, have kind of pulled away, got single file, but they're starting to mix it up now in the top five.
And if you look back there, just, a couple positions behind there, we had another side-by-side battle going on between, I think it was Len McNeese and Alex Huffman there. But looks like they've settled in line now. But look who's coming now with a 27 car, Jonathan Ellis. Yeah,
he is definitely working his way back up. You know, he didn't lose too many positions there. He didn't go a lap down after that little incident there, but pit stops, you know, the caution kind of helped him out to not go a lap down. He did not get credited with that yet anyway. Keep in mind, we're not saying it was his fault, but again, it did look like he got into the back. I believe you said it was a 71. So, you know, he's doing good right now, but that is what we were talking about earlier, these people not being able to qualify. You know, I'm not saying he'll serve a penalty next week, but if the admin team goes back and determines that he was the cause of that caution, he didn't claim it, that will be next week. He will start at the back of this field and will not be able to qualify So that is what that EOL penalty is. They address them after the race.
Absolutely. When we're watching 24 cars here, it's so hard to say for sure who caused it. You just flip over there as quick as you can and you watch 10 seconds of a race, and you don't know if somebody checked up in front of them or got off pace or anything like that, so we're not assigning blame here. But what we do know is that the two cars got into each other a little bit.
Yeah, and definitely that. Our job is obviously just to report it, and it will be up to race control to determine who's at fault. But a caution going to come out once again, and this time it's the 71 of Dean Viney again, as he's going to get hit multiple times.
Yeah, and it looked like we had some of the leaders get a little bit squirrely there and into each other after they went by him. Tommy Gossett and I think Brian Irby.
Well, let's go take a look here. Battling with Justin Starr. We'll see. Oh, Justin Starr slid up a little bit. Did get into him, but that did not bring out the caution here. He gets into him again, so contact twice between those two. Surprisingly, that did not bring out the caution, though. It was your leader, Austin Edstrom, that actually got into his back bumper. So he not only got squarely, he actually got into him. So let's take a look here at the right front suspension again of the leader, who is now on pit road getting some damage. He's going to fall a few spots here as we'll watch him on pit road real fast. He does have quite a bit of damage to the front of the car, so your leader taking the worst of the incident here.
Yeah, there were quite a few of the lead cars that either spun or maybe made a little bit of contact with each other. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, that is not anything like Austin wanted here. As we'll look, he is going to fall all the way back to 15th position now. So that is detrimental to his race. As we'll take a look. Right now, the 27 is being shown as the race leader.
Yeah, so we've watched Jonathan Ellis come through the field. He's come from the back to the front. He's been pretty steady. He's one of those drivers that looks like he may have found a little something on the bottom, and then he gets a big break where a bunch of cars in front of him all get into each other trying to avoid a wreck.
Yeah, and he's got quite a bit of damage to the right front of that car. But again, we've seen a little bit of damage. Doesn't hurt anything. I'm not sure if that's beyond being helpful or not to his car, or hurtful to it, as actually he's going to give it up here and go to pit road. So he's giving up the lead. Started 22nd, was currently in first, but he's falling here, and it's going to give the lead to Bryson Barker now.
Wow, I'm surprised. I don't know how many bonus points they get for leading the lap, but that's a lot of positions to give up, because we've still got quite a few cars on the lead lap just for a bonus point there.
Yeah, we do indeed. It looks like about 18 drivers still on the lead lap here, as it looks like we're going to get the green flag to start about lap 97. So right after we get the green flag again, we're going to be at halfway. So again, to give up that much of track position this late in the race, it's not technically late. It's still 100 laps to go, but at 15 seconds a lap, that's 4 laps a minute. This race is not going to last very long. We've been here in the race less than an hour, and we're already halfway, or coming up on halfway anyway.
Well, I expect that we'll probably see a few more cautions, and even if we don't have enough fuel to get that far. So we've still got plenty of time. If you're out there on the track, you're not panicking. And I guess if you're the 27 there, Jonathan Ellis, you know that you came through the field on those first 100 laps, so there's no reason to think you can't do it again. Although I feel like that's rolling the dice a little bit.
Yeah, that is definitely a gamble, but hey, sometimes it will pay off for you. We'll see as Bryson Barker takes him to the green flag, top 3 back up on your overlays, and he got a pretty good start here. It seems like that's the key here. If you can get out front and you have a clean car, you're going to get a huge lead, as now Lynn McNeese is trying to run him down, followed by Alex Huffman in third.
On that restart, Lynn McNeese really cut that corner coming out of 2, and he got a huge run down the straightaway. So I don't know if he found something, but I guess we'll have to wait to see.
We will indeed, as it looks like Justin Starr involved in this incident. Your lead car that was leading the most laps here back there as well. Not sure if he got a piece of that action. Austin Edstrom. We'll just have to go back and look here. What happened here? This is right back here with your leader. We'll take a look here and see what happened. Austin Starr in the 99, or Justin Starr in the 99. Sorry, Justin, getting involved in this. We'll see what did happen. Oh, looked like the 63 possibly just went around.
Yeah, it definitely happened in front of him. This is one of those things where we talked about, being in the back. It just kind of accordions back to you, and what's a little bit up front just ends up being huge coming back at you.
Yeah, and cars going in every which direction. Cars going backwards on the track. So a lot of stuff happening back there. And again, your car that led the most laps is back there. Your race leader. He is actually on pit road now. Once again, he's still on the lead lap as he's going to floor it out of pit road as fast as he can to stay on the lead lap. So he's going to come back around, but I'm not sure if Austin Edstrom has a car to win this race like he did. He's got heavy damage to the back and to the front of that car now.
So just to clarify, I looked a little bit further. It looks like the 63 and the 59 got into each other up front, and that actually is what collected all the guys behind them.
That is unfortunate. The 63, Charles Hoffman, and the 59 of Ruben Altus, who again has led a lap. Now Bryson Barker has had 7 laps. So we've had several leaders now, 3 leaders to be exact. Bryson Barker trying to see if he can't bring home the win now. And honestly, he may have a good shot at it. He's up front. He got a good start. And unfortunately, with Edstrom having the damage he does now, as he's going to go back down the pit road one more time, I have a feeling that his night for the win may be done. Bryson Barker may have a good shot at the win here tonight.
It'll be interesting to see. Here's the other thing I'm looking at here is we've got probably the first half of the field, maybe the first 12 cars, 13 cars stayed out there. They're on 10 laps on those tires, and we know 15 to 20 has kind of been that point where they started wanting new tires, and then everybody, or a lot of the cars back, Jonathan Ellis and some of these guys behind them, are on fresh tires. So we'll get a chance to see now difference between 10 lap and fresh tires.
That will be a good test to see. Again, Jonathan Ellis, the first one, like you said, to take tires here as we have 1 to go. Before we go, get the green flag again. And another note, we are over halfway done. So we are on lap 103, going to be good in green at 104 of 200. So just about 73 or 77, my bad, laps to go.
Yeah, it's we're starting to see, I think we've seen a couple quick cautions here, so people are maybe starting to feel a little bit of urgency. I think we've still got plenty of time, but it's only going to ramp up from here.
And my math must be horrible. We have 97 laps to go when we get the green right there. Green flag is out. And, once again, the 84 gets a good start. But look at the battle we have going on for third once again. Alex Huffman and Roger Muth, them two are battling it out right now, side by side, as they're already going to start sorting it out. But you have another one coming. That is the 11 of Dennis Ellis. We haven't talked about him hardly at all today. He is trying to get that number 11 Ford Heavenly machine up into a top 3 finish.
Yeah, and then further back, we've got the 91 of Jim Locking and Trevor Graffman in the 47, and then Cody Brent Levitt, too. The 3 of them have been going at it side by side.
Yeah, the thing is, we're keeping track of the front, but there's battles throughout this whole field. As what you're talking about there is, it looks like the 91 of Jim Locking is going to get by Ruben Altice now, and now he's got his sights set on Trevor Graffam to try to get a 8th place finish here tonight. As it looks like the 91 has a little bit more damage than the 47, but it's definitely not slowing down as we didn't figure it would. Damage just not that big of a factor here. I think it affects your maybe overall takeoff speed, but it doesn't affect you too much once you get that car going. As we looked earlier with another driver, Austin, but the caution's going to come out once again, and it's going to be Tommy Gossett involved at least, maybe some other drivers.
Like Jonathan Ellis and the 31 there of Tommy Gossett just got into each other. And Tommy Gossett went spinning around there, and I think somebody else got into him afterwards.
Well, that is definitely nobody wants to see their night in here. It looks like Justin Starr's night is done as well. He was not involved in this caution, I don't believe. Looks like he may have been. He was on the track during this last caution, but he is no longer. He is taking it behind the wall as we see the 31 going around, and the 99 did get into the back of the 63, but he kept going. So not sure, but he did pull it behind the wall.
Yeah, the 21 and 88, Austin Edstrom there again too. They got into each other a little bit trying to avoid that wreck too. So more bad luck for Austin.
Yeah, that is definitely not what he wanted to see here. Is everybody's going to come down pit road except for Tommy Gossett. He is on the lead lap, and he is actually going to lead a lap here, I do believe. As we'll pull up the driver bar. He has not led one yet, but he stayed out 11 laps on those tires. Everybody else coming down pit road, with the exception of maybe the Brian Irby in the 55. He did not come down either. We'll see. He has stayed out. Brian Irby, Brian Dorsey stayed out with 19 laps on his tires. He is staying out, but still being scored. Back in 11th position is now he's going to come down the pit road as well.
Yeah, Tommy Gossett come down pit road, so he got his bonus point, and what we're seeing here is a pattern. Guys are staying out, leading that lap, and coming down and pitting, so apparently they're not too worried about coming through the field.
They are not at all. It seems like everybody thinks they can come through it, and some of them have been able to do it so far here tonight. But it seems like every caution we've had, they come in, get some fresh tires. It's becoming a trend. It was the Austin Edstrom that went in and he came out the leader. Now it's turning into the 84 of Bryson Barker. He comes in the leader, he goes out the leader. You have different leaders in there trying to lead those bonus points or lead laps to get that bonus point, but in the end it comes back to Bryson Barker leading this race. My question is, we're closing in on laps now. If we continue this trend of a few cautions, at some point somebody's going to come and they're going to say, I want to lead more than one lap, and they are not going to pit, and it's either going to spell disaster for the field if they spin the tires and spin it out, or they could propel themselves to victory.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I think as the laps wind down, we'll probably see somebody try that. While we're here at the pit stop, I wanted to mention the 39 car of Roger Muth. He is now the biggest mover in this race so far. We haven't talked about him that much. We've talked about Jonathan Ellis coming through the field, but Roger Muth's up 13 places in P4 right now, the 39 car.
He is indeed a solid top 5 run here. As we'll take a look here at our top 5 real fast. After 113 laps completed, it is Bryson Barker, Len McNeese, Alex Huffman, Roger Muth, and Brian Irby, last week's winner. So a solid run for all these guys here up in the top 5. But there it is. A green flag is back out. And again, another very good start for Bryson Barker in that number 84 machine.
Looked like the 44 there was a little bit slow getting into out of turn 2, and the 52 got by on the inside, Alex Huffman.
Yeah, and that's
we saw him find some speed on that last restart doing that.
Yeah, and that's what you want if you're the 84 Barker. You want to see these guys, miss a gear start and spin the tires. You don't want to see a caution, but you definitely want to see, stack the field up a little bit. Hey, hold him off. That's fine with him. These guys, he can get out there and get the lead. He's got .433 seconds right now, and we'll see if he can gain a little bit more at the line. But everybody's still running the high side. We haven't seen too many people venture down and try to run the bottom unless they're kind of forced down there.
Yeah, it just really hasn't come in yet. I've seen the 52 car Alex Huffman get a couple nice runs off there, and I've seen the 27 of Jonathan Ellis work the bottom a little bit. And make some passes, but aside from that, you're right. We haven't seen a lot of success down there in that bottom line.
And I was kind of figured by now, you know, over the halfway point, we would see somebody trying to run down there. As we look here, it looks like Len McNeese is going to try in the 44. He's taking it to the inside, but you see as soon as they get to the corner where they're starting to come out, it's just not, he doesn't have the forward bite or momentum that he needs, as the 33 of Brian Irby is going to get by him, and it looks like we're having connection issues from somebody. That may have been Bryson Barker, I'm not sure. Somebody
39 just overtook the 52 down there on the bottom, and now we've got the 30 Brian Irby going down there. So just after watching Len McNeese lose 3 spots trying to make a pass down there, we see Roger Muth pull it off. So there is some grip down there somewhere. I guess it's just a matter of finding it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a matter of finding it, and it could be as much as you know half a car length off. And you know, it really is all about finding the grip. It's out there. You just got to find it. And he could have been, you know, 1 tire length off, half a car length off. Something was different between those two as he was able to get by him. And we'll see here, can Roger Muth run down Bryson Barker here. 1.75 seconds off right now. So he's loving it right now. Barker's out front, and he's saying, battle it up, guys. Stay back there and duke it out. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull almost a 2-second lead and pull away from you.
Yeah, he's checking out here real fast, but I'm pretty sure we'll see something that tightens his field back up again.
Yeah, I do too. 75 laps to go when the leader crosses the line, as he just did. So, again, 75 laps is all that remains in this race out of 200. So we've completed the majority of this race. So this could get very interesting here towards the end. But right now, a huge lead up for the 84. Check in here with Austin Edstrom right now. He is being currently scored in 12th. He is still on the lead lap. Now he's going to take 11th. So he's still got some damage, but he did get a big chunk of it repaired, but the back looks a little better than the front. Looks kind of like a demolition derby went by there, as he's going to get into, I believe that is the 59 of Ruben Altice. He gets into the back of him, kind of pushes him using those chrome horns.
Yeah, we knew those chrome horns were going to come out here at some point.
Yeah, it's kind of wondered. I'm not sure he had any chrome horns left. That may have been straight bumper, because the front of that car is pretty torn up, but he will use them, and he will get by the 59 and the 101. So now he's got his eyes set on Tommy Gossett, sitting in 9th place. But there's a pretty good-sized gap between Tommy Gossett and Austin Edstrom right now, back in 9th and 10th position.
Yeah, and while we got to spread out here a little bit, we keep talking about finding grip, and maybe I should explain what we mean by that in case anybody's not aware that's watching us. As these cars go around the track and put heat into the track, they're also leaving rubber on the track. And as they leave the rubber on there, it has more grip than that concrete. So as they run around that top line, they keep putting more and more rubber on there, and there comes a point in time where your car's just not set up for all that rubber, or you get so much on there it actually starts shearing off and getting slicker again. But every time these guys dip down into that low lane earlier, which was too slick at the start of the race to really run, they leave a little bit of rubber down there. So as the top line starts to get worse and worse to drive in, the bottom lane, the more they drive in, it starts getting just a little more rubber and a little more grip down there. So that's what we're talking about, searching for grip. Driving down there and just seeing if it's ready yet.
Yeah, and it's and you can tell it looks like it's ready, but you just got to be able to get in the perfect spot for it. You know, you might call it the sweet spot. If you're off by just a little bit, you could, you know, get your tire to the left of it too much, or not far enough over one way or the other, and you're kind of just straddling it.
Nice save. The 40 car got loose there, and he saved it before he got to the apron.
Well, another car with a lot of front end damage, but they did a good job for saving that. As look, everybody on pace right now. Looks like we have a somewhat of a battle. We did there for a minute anyway for 4th position, but it's kind of faded out at the moment. So let's go back and take a look here. We'll check in with, again, Austin. He's still trying to run down the 40 now. He is in a 9th position. So, you know, we talked about it, Austin Edstrom's night being possibly over with all that damage. But I'm not too sure now. He's still on the lead lap in the 9th place. That damage may not affect him again. This is not a super speedway. He might still have a shot to win this race.
You know, and again, you know, when it comes down to the end of it, I think anybody in the lead lap has a shot. You know, it really comes down to track position or the big one. And, you know, just even Bryson Barker, we know he's got that big lead right now, but he's in the lap traffic. And we've seen incidents with the slower lap traffic take out the leaders once already this race. So nothing's written in stone at this point.
It's definitely not, as we'll see Justin Starr getting out of the race, Dean Viney out of the race, Mikey Neal, as well as Mike Rigney out of the race. So 4 drivers out. We still have 20 drivers on track right now, and we have about 15 of the 20 on the lead lap. But it's going to be interesting to see how many are on the lead lap when it's all said and done, as it looks like Austin Edstrom's going to get by the 40 here if he can of Cody Levitt. So Cody going to get passed by him, and he will take the position. That is if he can make the pass. They're side by side right now.
Well, and they've got him forced out into the wall here on these corners coming off, and what you'd like to do is you'd like to be able to turn it down there a little bit and make that straightaway longer. So looks like he's actually going to be the first car we see get freight trained on the top of the track.
He is indeed, and there goes the 101. He's going to get by all of them. Again, the 101, David Gainforth. But the one who's loving all of this right now, he is loving life. That is Bryson Barker. 4.316 second lead over Roger Muth in second place. So he's loving this right now. He's wanting them to battle. The more they battle, the bigger his lead gets. And that's exactly what he is counting on. Is everyone out there just about has 31 to 34 laps in these tires. So you know they're kind of trying to baby it right now, as it looks like the 63 and the 21 are about to go laps down, as Dan Butler in the 21 and the 63 of Charles Hoffman.
Well, the next car on the lead lap that's got to worry right now is Ruben Altus, the 59 car. But there's a lot of cars in danger of going down a lap if the longer this run goes. So, I mean, we're about 40 laps into this run now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like our leader is going to get by the 63 fairly easy there, and the 21 for that matter. So a lot of cars going multiple laps down. Like you said, Ruben Altus, however we say that, we'll try to clarify that if we can. He is the one right now that is in jeopardy. As we'll take a look back here and see, he has not got that far to go. They are just about on the same straightaway here. They are definitely in the same corner, as you see the 59 coming out of turn 2 or turn 4, and right there is your leader coming behind him. So he is not far off. You know, he definitely be over the radio right now. Find a water bottle, find something. I need a caution. I don't need to go a lap down. The good news is, if he does, and he's the only one, he can get that lap back.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys going to be looking for that water bottle here in a minute. Dennis Ellis, the 11 car, seems like he's one of the faster guys right now in these older tires, and he's working through some traffic too, but he's about to go a lap down.
He is indeed. 16.370 was his last lap to the leader, 16.4. So he definitely is faster, but being caught up in all these other cars here is not letting him get away from the leaders. He just ran a 16.5, so that time he was actually a little bit slower, but a 16.505 to a 16.501. So he shows you right there, 0.004 faster is all the leader is.
Yeah, he's got some traffic here. I know he wants to get through it and put a buffer in there before Bryson Barker gets there.
He's closing in on him too, as it looks like Bryson Barker will get by Ruben Altus here, and he's also going to get by the 4 of Leonard Ellis, who was already 4 laps down. Now he's going to be 5 laps down. So right now, the 84 of Bryson Barker doing exactly what he needs to do. He's just putting cars a lap down, kind of running cruise control right now.
Yeah, and that's what you want if you're Bryson Barker. You want to get as many of these guys a lap down as you can. you know, force them to stay out there in small tires, take the wave around or something here coming to the end. Definitely, the more you can knock down, the better shot you got to win here.
They do 45 laps to go is all. They've been out there for about 46 laps on their tires. So it's going to be a total of about 100 laps, give or take. So our fuel window is 70 to 80 laps. So if our math is correct, which hopefully it is, they're going to have to pit one more time. And right now it looks like those pit stops are going to be under green flag conditions. So this will be our first green flag pit stop if it does continue the way it's going right now.
Yeah, we didn't get an exact number from the drivers, but I think we estimated somewhere in the 70 lap range, give or take, you know, a few laps there. And so we're probably looking at maybe 10 laps from now, as soon as 10 laps from now, starting the green flag pit stops, and that could make things very interesting because the pit road here is a bit unique. We've got 2 pit entrances. We've got a pit road speed. Oh, and just as I say that, the 47 goes around. Not sure if it'll bring a caution out or not.
We'll take a look. Trevor Graffam, he is stopped backwards on the track as we're watching him, but the thing is he's off the racing surface. As we'll see, he's going to get it turned around, and there will come out the caution once again. So it doesn't look like we're going to have any green flag pit stops here tonight, as he just gets it barely going as the yellow flag does come back out. We wouldn't even go back and look at that when he just got it around there. But again, that is right within the window for pit stops here. So with about 30 some odd laps to go, I expect to see everybody coming down pit road this time.
Yeah, that's just a product of running that inside line there with somebody on the outside line. The car just naturally wants to push out into the wall, and you kind of get in that rhythm and letting it push out. And you got another car coming off that high line, and he's not in your line of sight, and spotters aren't always accurate with the call.
This is very true. They are not very accurate here. Excuse me. But again, everybody on the lead lap's coming down pit road here. Well, I say everyone, we have a taker staying out, and that is going to be Cody Levitt in the 40 car. He is going to stay out with 53 laps on those tires.
Yeah, and I think based on what we've seen in the past, this one's pretty obviously just let's get a point here.
Yeah, there's no way he can make it on fuel, so he's going to probably tuck in here. And I'll take a look at his the driver real fast. He started 16th, so he would have started in the same pit as these guys, and there he is going to come in. Interesting enough, he didn't lead a lap there, so he came in a little early. He did not actually officially lead a lap.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just a mistake. Did he miss the pit entrance the first time around, or did he miscalculate what it was going to take to lead that lap?
One of those two things might have happened. Maybe he just didn't realize he needed to get to go by one more time, or maybe he thought his pit stall was further down. Anything could have happened, or like you said, he could have just missed going to get on pit road, forgot which side he was on. It was with 24 drivers. Everybody would have been on, or they would have been 2 different sides here. Not everyone would have been on one side, because I believe it can only hold 30 on one side, or 20 on one side, if I do recall. I'm not 100% certain on that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think 21 or 22, somewhere in there. I think it's half the field. But I don't remember the exact number. It's right around 20.
Well, either way, he is definitely going to take us a little bit further back in the field right now.
Well, we've seen guys come to the field several times tonight, and we've seen guys go back there, and we've never seen them again.
This is true. 1 lap to go. Again, it does seem like a great time here. Closing laps to go. Crank it up 1 time here. Again, let's go crank it up style. As soon as they get the green flag, we will drop the crank it up. And that will be in just about half a lap. So we'll be back here in just a minute. We're going to go crank it up style here on MaxSpeedTV here for the restart. Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a crank it up there here on MaxSpeedTV. And these guys are already single file out. They were duking it out here there for a while, though, on the crank it up cam. As you see Bryson Barker out front right now. But look who's behind him, Brian Irby. Got a beat up, damaged car, but he's not letting that slow him down at all. He's running second place, and he could go back to back again. He said it was probably impossible, but he's got a good shot at it right now.
I'm going to take you a little further back than that and tell you to look at P4, the 88 car of Austin Edstrom. He's back. He's made it up front with the leaders. He's got that damage. He got in a couple scrapes on his way up here, but he's here now, so let's see what he has.
Yeah, I'm really beginning to wonder if, the more damage your car is, the better the thing runs, because we've got a lot of cars up front that look like they drove through a minefield, and they're up front running really good. So, again, we already knew damage wouldn't affect you too bad here, just for the sheer fact that, it's not a super speedway, but it's almost like it's helping them. Maybe it's less weight on the car or something. That's two really heavily damaged cars in the top 5 right now, and they are moving forward on top of that.
Boy, at this point, I don't know who doesn't have damage. Maybe Bryson Barker. But as I start looking through the field, I see damaged fenders, I see rear quarters damaged. I think just about everybody's either had somebody into their rear end or been in the wall at some point in this race.
Now, that is the trend with this track here. You get damaged cars, damaged feelings, as a caution's going to come out once again, and this time it's for Len McNeese going to be involved. Tommy Goth, it looks like he's going to get a piece of the action as well.
The 12 car and the 40 car bumped, but that didn't cause it. There was a little checkup.
Let's go back here and take a look. I know in the end product,
and the 4 car got into each other a little bit.
Oh, very interesting. You said the 4 car Leonard Ellis?
Yeah, he was running the outside, and it looked like the 12 car just pushed up a little bit. He had a run on him, and just pushed up into him a little bit and turned the 4 car.
Let's take a look here. A lot of cars getting involved there. That is unfortunate. Look at the 44. He has got a ton of smoke there coming from that car.
Yeah, it looks like we might have a blown engine. If that's the case, it's game over. No fast repair here.
Yeah, that is definitely the last thing you want to see here is a blown engine. But, speaking of destroyed, blown cars, blown engines, look who the front 2 are. Brian Irby and Austin Edstrom. The 2 guys with probably the most damage to their cars that are still managing to run are out front running 1 and 2. Taking a look here, it's actually going to be 20 laps to go. So 20 laps left in this race. You've got Brian Irby out front, the guy who said it's impossible, I can't win 2 in a row, I don't think it's going to happen. He's leading the race. The guy that led the most laps, Austin Edstrom, 91. He's in second place right now. He's trying to get back to the front to get a win here. So those are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and I missed something. What happened to Bryce Barker?
That is a good question. I am not sure what happened to him either. He did not come out very high here. We're going to take a look, see if we can figure out where he is at the moment. He is back in, well, he's in 3rd, so he's not that far back. Taking a look, he had a 15.5 second pit stop. There we go.
2-tire pit stops. Brian Irby and Austin Edstrom, 10-second pit stops. I'm thinking they took 2 tires is what happened.
I think you'd be right. The question is, which 2 did they take? 2 rights or 2 lefts? So, yeah, you're right. That is what happened. So, not a bad pit stop for Bryson Barker. Just a little trickery 2-tire stop for the front 2. They were already up there anyway. So, if they can hang on to first and second for a good 10 laps, I don't think Bryson Barker is going to be able to get by him here. as you know, 10 to 12 laps in, the tires pretty much fall off, and it's really is a battle for position. And if you have that position, you're sitting in the money seat right then.
Hey, track position here. Although historically, 2 tires on this track after a run like that would make me real nervous. This cars might be real tight. Be interesting to see if they just are pushing up real bad here on this first couple laps. And just a little bit of an update. The 44 of Len McNeese, who we thought blew an engine, did come back out on the track. So I'm not sure what was going on there.
Not sure, but he is back out. His green flag does come back out. He's 1 lap down, though. As here we go, we're going to see Austin Edstrom try to get to the lead. Oh, they almost made contact, though, for the lead.
Nice run off that corner, though, he got on the low side.
Indeed, and it's going to be a drag race to the line, but it looks like it's going to be Brian Irby for the lead. Now you got
Barker letting him know he's there.
He is indeed. He is letting them know, saying, I'm here. I've got fresher tires, at least on one side of my car, and I think those fresh tires are definitely going to pay off here. Maybe not, though. Here comes Austin Edstrom battling back for the lead, or for second place, trying to get up to the lead as he scrapes the wall. But again, we got a car going around. Caution will come out here once again. So we'll take a look back here and see. Looks like maybe the 91.
A lot of cars got caught up there. I think I saw the 11 somewhere, the 2, the 21, the 47. There was a lot of cars got caught up in that.
Go back and take a look here at the replay and find out exactly what happened. So again, several cars getting involved here. Jim Locking is out of the race right now. He was 1 lap down in the 91. I'm not sure if he was involved in this or not. We'll definitely see what happened back here. There goes the 11 going around, the 55 getting involved, the 2 getting involved, the 21's involved, and there's a couple of others back there just barely squeaking through. But probably the biggest wreck we've seen as far as the most cars involved.
Yeah, and it looked like Dennis Ellis and David Gainforth just got at each other, and you know, we talked about one of the dangers of being back there is you just don't have a lot of time to react here on this short track to something like that, and as all these cars start trying to wreck avoiding it, there's just nowhere to go, and we had a lot of cars that got a piece of that one.
There was indeed, and you know, the 2 that are sitting there just in their car, just yes, that's what I wanted to see. That's the 33 and the 88 of Brian Irby and Austin Edstrom. You know with 12 laps ago, they're not going to pit. You would be crazy and probably should just pack up iRacing if you were to pit right now. That would just be probably the craziest thing you could do. You've got it here. Cautions breed cautions. These people are trying to get to the front. I would not be surprised if we have another late caution here. It could end the race, so stay out here. See if you can possibly hold these guys off. If you can't, what's the worst? You get a solid top 5 finish out of the night. Your best bet is to stay out there. We saw them able to hold them off once. I have a feeling they might be able to do it here again.
Well, I think their chances get better too as Bryson Barker just gets a little bit more wear in those tires. He knocks a little bit of that new off. You know, we've seen the lap time seem to be the steepest fall off is at the beginning of that run. And so now that we've had about 7 or 8 green flag laps on there, he's probably not going to have as much of an advantage on this restart. And then, like you said, the cautions breed cautions. We got 10 laps to go. We're going to see 2 wide, 3 wide. Everybody's trying to get every position they can here right now. So, good chance that we see yet another restart before this one's over.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And what everyone out there has to remember that's tuning in here tonight. First off, thanks for tuning in. But they both have 10 laps on some of their tires. They took 2, so they don't have completely old tires. They do have some fresh tires on one side of their car here, just not on both sides. So they don't have completely old tires. You know, they're about 50-50 mix right now. So we're going to get the green flag next time by. And what also helps too is you have them double filed, so you have old and old right in the front row. You know, if it was reversed and those old tires were in a row, someone on that high side could probably get by, but you know, they've got those front rows blocked right now.
Yeah, Bryson Barker needs to get a restart from of his life here if he's going to get by these guys early. You know, as he doesn't do it, and it looks like the 39 might even get Bryson Barker here as he gets up above him here.
Yeah, it definitely is. An 88 got into the wall there.
Yeah, and then just as I say that, Roger Booth gets into the wall and falls back here.
It's going to be interesting here with 8 laps to go. Going to be 7 at the line. You know, Brian Irby's right now being able to hang on to the field. As right there you see the 84 get into the wall hard, but able to recover from it. You know, those front 2 guys, all they got to do is hang on to it right now. Everybody behind them is going to overdrive it. They have to. They got to push it as hard as they can if they want to get back up to the front. As it looks like the 88 is going to get into the back of the 33. And a caution is going to come out.
Yeah, at 12, we had a nice little battle back there. We didn't want to take our eyes off the leader, but about 5 through 10, we had a pretty good battle, and it looked like they were going about 2-3 wide there. And James Morgan in the 12 car just got a little bump there and came around.
And again, looking at that, but also back here looking, what happened to the 88? He just completely blinked out of the race. I do believe they have an incident limit. Maybe he hit that incident limit. He gave the 33 a little bit of a bump, and then right here you see him go, and he is gone just like that off the track. So not sure what happened to him, as he is now out of the race. So something happened to the 88. Not sure if he had a connection issue or what, but he is no longer here.
Yeah, I've got no explanation. I don't have anything here that shows me the incident points, but I think either internet connection or an incident point issue. We didn't see any blinking from him prior to that, so I'm not sure.
It's very interesting here to see. I don't see he is not disconnected from TeamSpeak with us or anything. Not sure if I do see him in here. He is in TeamSpeak, so we'll see real fast if we can't get a quick word in with him. Austin, you got a copy?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to interview me. I got DQ'd, so I didn't finish top 3.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're wondering if you disconnected or what happened there.
Yeah, I got DQ'd on that last contact right before the caution came out. Brian got in the wall and off, and whenever he came off, he just hit me barely, and I got a 4X for that. So.
Oh, that is definitely not a good thing for you, but you know, kind of stinks for you. But you had a good run, so you know, hopefully we'll see you back here in the top 3 next week.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, that is very unfortunate. So they do have incident limit here, and that little contact got him DQ'd after all that work to get all the way from the back after all the damage back to the front, running second. Probably had a car to win even with all the damage to get DQ'd right here with very few laps to go.
Yeah, and we said at the beginning, short track, short tempers. You know, I mean, he had to go to the back of the field there early on when he got caught up as the leader into some lap traffic there. And he took a beating coming through the field. We saw him get wrecked a few times, and he just, you know, he hit that incident limit when he got back up to the front there.
Yeah, it stinks too.
Yeah, it's just one of the dangers of trying to come through, you know, from the back to the front. We talked about all the things that can happen, and that's just one of the things we didn't talk about. Yeah, track position here at a track like this, it looks like we're going to see a 2-tire win here.
Yeah, and coming from the guy who said it was impossible for him to come back-to-back victories, and here he is doing it. So 2-tire pit strategy gets him to victory lane as they are on the last lap here.
Yeah, we thought we were going to see some strategy. I'm surprised that we only saw 2 guys really break out the strategy there at the end, but the last remaining guy that did use a little bit of strategy there on that pit stop is the guy that's going to take the victory here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that will be the checker flags there. So give us just a few moments here. We're going to step away, get to the post-race show here in just a moment. We're going to round up all the drivers and get to some post-race interviews. So we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with your post-race show. We do have third place here with us, and it looks like Jeff has caught up with him. So, Jeff, we will hand the mic over to you.
Hey, Roger Muth, you got a copy there?
10-4, I hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Roger, congratulations on the third place finish. You were somebody that we watched quite a bit this race. You were one of the biggest gainers from start to finish on this field. We saw you making a lot of passes out there, working the bottom, working the high line. Not sure, but I think I might have even seen you work in the middle on a 3-wide pass there at one point. So you had a heck of a race, and you survived Bristol. Why don't you walk us through what happened out there?
Thanks, man. I gotta give a shout out to my teammate. Actually, he helped me a lot here at Bristol the last couple of weeks. I was probably one of the slowest guys coming into this week here, but yeah, battling up there. Had a couple 3-wide passes. Good battle there with Alex Huffman. These guys are great to run with. Started way back there. Didn't have a good qualifying lap, but made my way up.
Yeah, you did. Like I said, we watched you quite a bit there. What was it like coming through the field?
With these guys, it was pretty good. I mean, most times it's pretty scary out here. A lot of give and take, so that helps a lot. A lot of respect.
All right. Were you able to ever find any grip on that bottom line? As we watched this, we saw the high line prevail. I thought I saw you kind of get a run a couple times coming off the bottom on 2 there. That looked like you were shooting forward there a little bit. Did you ever find anything down there that maybe nobody else found?
I had a couple laps on the bottom, maybe 4, 5, 6 laps total that I could run on the bottom. Otherwise, this car gave up way too much. It was mainly running the middle of the top all night.
Well, you had a heck of a race out there. Congratulations on the third place finish. Do you want to give, you got any sponsors, teammates, friends that you want to give a shout out to here?
Yeah, I really got to thank my teammate Cody Levitt out there. I mean, he really helped me. Also, I'd like to thank Justin for putting on this league, and Global Building Contractors for helping us out and sponsor us, getting you guys out here to show all of our fans what we do every week.
All right, well, congratulations again on the finish. I think we've got Charles, I think he's caught up with Bryson Barker down there, so we're going to pass this over to Charles.
We do indeed have the 84 Bryson Barker here with us. You finished second place. Overall, a terrific run for you here. You had fresher tires, you might say, all 4 than Brian Irby. He had a 2-tire stop, it looked like there, with only a 10-second stop. We'll confirm that here in just a little bit. But had we not had those 2 last cautions, do you think you could have run him down and given him a run for that lead?
I don't know, man. That's racing with these guys. Everybody out here is competitive. Especially at Bristol, it's hard to pass. You know how it is. So you never know. I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with the finish today.
Well, you definitely did a good job here. You led the second in most laps. You led 85 laps, the only guy to lead more. was Austin Edstrom, who we found out did get DQ due to incident points. Not the way he planned on finishing the night, but he led 91. So as far as finishing the race, you led the second most laps. Almost there. You probably could have got the most laps led had you been able to get back into the front. But overall, fantastic run here. I believe probably the best runs we've seen. You're always racing really good, but to get a top 3 finish is always a good thing. But we don't want to keep you too terribly long here. But so any sponsors or just shout outs you want to give for that solid second place finish here?
But yeah, first of all, I gotta thank Justin. I know he puts a lot of hard work in behind the scenes, and Global Contractors for sponsoring us and allowing us to broadcast this live. So I just appreciate those guys and all of the guys I race with on a weekly basis.
All right. Well, again, congrats on a solid second place finish. Be a good points night for you here tonight. And overall, we'll see you here. See if you can pull out a victory next week, or at least get another solid finish. Finishing one spot ahead of him, that was your race winner, the number 33, Brian Irby. And I would like to quote, we talked to him earlier, and he said back-to-back wins were probably impossible. Well, impossible became possible here tonight. You win 2 races in a row, back-to-back. How does it feel to be in victory lane yet again?
There is really no way to describe this, man. With the group of guys that's here and how fast Bryson was and how fast Austin was, I really thought it would be impossible, but it's a great feeling.
Well, this time we get to interview you live here. Obviously, not previously. You kind of get 2 victory interviews in one race. So that's a new one here, but again, that was because of some internet issues last week. But this time it is live right after the event here on MaxSpeedTV. Oh, did you take 2 tires, and if you did, which side did you take out there?
Yeah, I took 2 right side tires. That was the only shot I had to get in front of Bryson. Bryson was fast, and once he got on the high side, there was no keeping up with him. And so I had to do something different than what they did, like we talked earlier. It was all about tire management, but that wasn't the way I planned on managing them. But it worked.
Well, just out of curiosity, you know the car is going to be a handful the later you get into the run period with those tires worn out. But having 2 set of fresh tires on the left, or 2 on the right, and 2 old ones on the left, how did that make the car handle here, having old and new all on the same car?
On the first restart, it felt really, really good. It actually cut center really hard, and I could run it really, really hard high. After that caution came out, and we had to restart, it was starting to push a little bit out of exit, and that's the reason why you see me get the wall coming out of 3. Coming out of 2, and yeah, it got a little rough there at the end.
Well, it may have got rough, but you definitely were able to handle it to come away with the win here tonight. Again, 2 in a row here. You win at last week, and you win here tonight at Bristol. So any sponsors or shout-outs you want to give for that win here tonight?
Yeah, like everybody else said so far, I'd like to thank Justin for putting on a good league. All the competitors here for just being a competition that they are, man. It's a great thing to have. I'd like to thank Global Building Contractors for sponsoring this league, and I got to give a shout out to my man Mike Rigney, man, for making me what I am today and teaching me how to race and how to have patience. So that's all I got for you.
All right, well, again, congrats on the win here tonight. We only have 2 more pieces of business to take care of real fast. Again, we'll get to that. Jeff, if you're still here with us, you want to run through our top 10 finishes here, and I will round us out for the night.
Yeah, absolutely. In first place, we had the 33, who we just listened to, Brian Irby, followed up by the 84, Bryson Barker. In third place, we had Roger Muth. Fourth place was Alex Huffman. In fifth place, we had the 27 car of Jonathan Ellis. In sixth place, we had the 101 of David Gainforth. In seventh place, we had Cody Brent Levitt. Eighth, we had Dennis Ellis. Ninth, we had the 59 car of Ruben Altus. And in 10th place, we had the 44 of Len McNeese.
And coming in at 11th, James Morgan. 12th place, Brian Dorsey. 13th, Jared Hagdorn. Hopefully we get that one right. 14th will be Trevor Graffam. 15th, Leonard Ellis. 16th will go to Austin Edstrom. So unfortunate there. He did get DQ'd for that. I'd say 16th, my bad. I'm not sure. We got a little mixed up here on the results for us here. We do apologize for that. 17th, Charles Hoffman. Excuse me. 18th, Jim Lockie. 19th, Tommy Gossett. And 20th, Dan Butler. 21st will go to Justin Starr. 22nd, Dean Viney. 23rd, Mikey Neal. And rounding out the field in 24th will go to Mike Rigney. So, unfortunately for some of these drivers, not having the run they really wanted here tonight. But before we sign off for the night, we do want to thank all the sponsors real fast, of course. Hang on, as soon as I stop coughing, it has been a horrible night tonight. Sorry about that. But again, all the sponsors that make all this possible, MenuRunners.com, SimSpeedShop.com, HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair, Elite 7 Racing, and Ohio IndyCar League on the MaxSpeedTV side of things. And of course, as always, Global Building Contractors here on the racing side of things. Again, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here broadcasting. They're the ones footing the bill for that. So make sure you go check them out. Give them a thumbs up. Like them on their Facebook page. Whatever you have to do. Just let them know that you appreciate what they do. As always, on behalf of the RaceCore Online Racing League and MaxSpeedTV, we will see you at the next event next Sunday night. But we're going to sign off here. We're not done. I'm fixing to actually jump over in the booth here with KR for a 3-wide race. So I'll actually see y'all here in just a few minutes. So make sure you tune over to that race. And we will be back, or I'll be back here live in just about 5 minutes.